This podcast contains strong language and adult themes from the outset. Strap yourselves in, baby.
And then the milkshake is like, I think it's like 400 or something
Why
calories.
have they decided to do that?
Because they have to, don't they? That's the government have said.
On every single restaurant has to put calories on their menu. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
When did they? Have you just made that up?
No, genuinely. Hang on, I'll Google it. Calories on menus.
Oh, Angry Chef ain't gonna like that.
Angry Chef.
Angry Chef. You know, the Angry Chef. What's his name? Wrinklehead.
Restaurant, cafes and takeaways with more than 250 staff must print how many calories are in meals on their menus, website and on delivery platforms. The new rule is part of government plans to tackle obesity by helping people to make healthier choices. Well, fucking thank you, Boris. Like, Boris, don't you... like?
He looks like he could do with checking his calories. No, but that's not... Like, small restaurants don't have 250 employees.
Hang on, that was April 2022 on the BBC. Is it law to show calories on a menu? New legislation... Fucking hell.
We'll spit it out.
New legislation applying to large businesses such as takeaways, restaurants and cafes comes into force on today. So, comes into force today. Come on. That's on the .gov.uk website. And I haven't even read it wrong.
No spell check.
New rules record...
Spit it out, mortal! I haven't got an eternity.
Start again. Come on.
I think it's because, like...
I'm with you.
I've got...
You got your bubba lips. They're puffed right up.
Fucking... Oh, no, where you go? You go. Fucking bubba. Bastards.
Wait, leave nothing out.
If you want help, hang up and then dial your operator.
Don't threaten me. You don't scare me.
Fun and excitement.
And when you're headed down,
Leave nothing out.
So you're now a qualified swimming instructor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need it.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what are you going to do with that?
Well, teach...
Duh.
Essentially teach children 3 to, teenagers, whatever. I mean, I'll teach anybody. Obviously, you get the odd adult that can't swim, that needs to build confidence. I think they might be more inclined to come and see me than a nipper.
Yeah.
Because obviously I'm a bit older, so they feel a bit more comfortable. But the kids are hilarious, man. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Just another thing for me to do. I quite like the variety, to be honest. So got a bit of martial arts, do a bit of swim teaching, then I'm in the gym, do a bit of PT, do a bit of massage. It's quite nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice having a few strings to your bow in it.
Yeah, it is, because you don't all your eggs in one basket. So swimming, I never even thought about doing swimming teaching, but I think that's a pretty cool thing to have, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, I said to you, I'm an aqua aerobics instructor. I tell people that, they're like, oh yeah? Yeah, well, when I went to the army, they wanted something for the padwives to do. So they were like, Callie, do you want to go on an aqua instructor's course? All right then, I'll do that.
Come on, everybody. Great man.
Yeah.
Great man. Heel kicks. Get those knees up. Do you know, to be fair, right, back in, God, it would have been like the late 80s, I was going to aqua aerobics at Little Dan. I would have only been like 16 or 17. I loved it.
Shall we go?
Fuck, we will be the youngest. The deep water stuff is quite good.
Oh, it's a good workout if you work
The deep
hard.
water stuff is really good because it just takes the pressure off your joints.
Yeah.
Really loosens you up as well. But yeah, I think like the oldies,
I reckon we should go.
they're just not very nice to be around, are they?
We should go and then feedback.
So, theme of today. Biological men competing in female sport.
Well, biological men that have transitioned into being a female.
Right.
What are you looking at?
Oh, there's a bird.
Such irritable distractions.
Biological men that have transitioned and are now transgender women competing in female sport.
Yeah. Now, I like to be controversial. And I've been speaking about this to a few of my friends over the last few days, and I'm very passionate about it. It fucking winds me up. Really winds me up. I don't care who you are, what you want to do, who you want to be. If you want to walk down the road and have a tree on the top of your fucking head, or walk down the road with your penis out, or your boobs out, or just walk down the road in your pants, whatever, no judgment from me. I don't care. I don't care. But when it starts to encroach on my life and my choices, and ultimately me being able to be on a fair playing field, you know, competing against my peers, biological women, then it's going to fucking annoy me. And now it's annoying me. Because I think of all the women before me that have asked permission. This is not a God-given right for us to be playing sport. It has taken us over 130 years to be included in sport as women.
But also being able to compete in all types of sport rather than just allocated sports for females.
Yeah. So I've said, and ultimately, I'm very happy for them to be identifying as a woman. But you can't just grow a pair of tits and put a bit of makeup on and call yourself a woman, because you don't have ovaries. Right? You still, I don't care if you've had your dick chopped off and tucked up inside you or turn it inside out or what the fuck it does. You will essentially never be a full woman. I don't care what you fucking identify as. So that's my little controversial comment. My platform, I'm putting it out there. Right? As I said to my housemate, if I identify as a broccoli, right, that's what I'm identifying as now. I identify as a broccoli. Am I really, truly a fucking broccoli?
It depends how much you commit to it.
But do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, so so obviously you're very passionate about that, but, and again, what kind of stupid society are we in that two females have to be worried about offending other females?
Well, why aren't they sensitive to, if you want to identify as a woman, then you have to understand what our life has been like, and ultimately the battles that we face every single day when we leave our house. I still now face that. You know, when I teach my Thai boxing, I'm being taught by a woman. What do I want to be taught by a woman for?
Yeah.
So it's a select few that come to my class to be taught by me. But I'm a fucking good fighter. I know how to fight. And I'm really good at it. I became a world champion at it.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's the same. It's the same when I take Olympic lifting classes.
Yeah.
You've almost got to prove that you know what you're doing.
Like beyond proof.
Yeah.
Today, classic example. I'm in the gym. I got one of my clients. She's only 14, bless her, but she's like 5'11". So she's, you know, her muscles and her strength are not quite caught up with how big she is.
Like when they look like puppies, because they've grown. The limbs are all over.
So I'm trying to get her to do a negative pull down, right? But she jumped up on me and she literally just fell to the floor, which was hilarious. So we had a little bit of a giggle about that. So we were laughing, and this guy was watching. He was like, "You need to hold her under the feet."
Oh, right. Fucking mansplaining.
Yeah.
That's a dick move.
And I said, I shut him right down.
Good.
And I said, I know what I'm doing. Thank you very much. I've been doing this for 20 years. To have you tell me what I need to do. I'm not going to hold her under her feet. She's 5'11". Her feet are nearly touching the floor. Anyway, it really annoyed me. It annoyed me.
Can he do a pull-up?
I tell you what, as well.
Can he do a pull-up?
Probably. I was in the gym. I tell you, I was in the gym today. I was benching, right? This little whippersnapper behind me on the machine chest press. Okay, he must have been about 5'2". Okay, and I've got 65 kilos on the bench. I get on there. Happy days. I was repping it out. 5 sets of 5. Yeah. Easy. He went, "Oh, you're stronger than you look." I mean, what kind of fucking comment is that? I'm stronger. I'm stronger than I look. Well, I think I look pretty fucking strong. Would you not agree?
Do you think that was a really poor attempt to like chatting you up?
Oh, what a dick. But I tell you what, on a more serious note, okay, every time I leave my house, and I do my fighting because I enjoy it, but I also like to know how to protect myself.
Yeah. I was chatting about that one with you the other day when I said that if I'm walking on my own, I'll make sure I've got my keys in my hand.
Yeah.
And that just gives you a little bit of confidence that should anything come, you've got something there.
But this is something that women have to think about all the time they leave the house. You know, when you walk past a gaggle of men, let's say, that are all, you know, it is unnerving because you just don't know what's going to happen, what they're going to do. Is one going to set on me? If one sets on me, are they all going to set on me? Yeah. So you will purposely cross over the road, right?
But then it's so super obvious that you crossed over the road because of that.
Yeah. Yeah. I was walking up the road one day with the dog, and I've got a chow chow, right? If you don't know what chow chow is, he looks like a lion.
It's in your profile picture on our Instagram page.
Right, he is amazing, but I do get asked a lot of the time, how much do you pay for him? Which is, it's nobody's business. So I did actually say to these guys, it's none of your fucking business. Then they turned on me, called me a fucking whore, and started following me up the road. So, transgender women, I'd be very surprised if they've ever experienced that, or they won't even know what that is to experience.
But do you think they experience other things like, I don't even know what the proper word for it is now.
I tell you what they'll experience is straight men thinking that they're women, and then ultimately, when they have to then explain to them, I'm actually a trans woman, the response that they get from that. Yeah. That's what they have to go through as far as that's concerned.
But is that because the men that have been put in that situation feel embarrassed, so therefore, like,
of course,
either not lash out physically, but maybe lash out verbally because they
verbally or maybe physically.
Maybe. Yeah.
So they do have to tread a very fine line as far as that's concerned. Yeah. But what I'm talking about is us as women, and ultimately what we have to go through, and ultimately they have never and will never experience what it means. Okay, to have a period every month.
No.
Well, and I know we've done a lot of talk about periods, but it's a big deal for us women. Yeah. And it's something we were around.
How it affects our mood, how it affects our ability to think.
Yeah.
Move.
Train.
Yeah.
And some women are lucky enough not to have heavy periods. And it might only last a couple of days. But let me tell you something. I have heavy periods for 7 days. And it's heavy. And I just have to get up, get on with my life, and not fucking moan about it. And just get on with it.
Can you remember last month when you said, next episode, let's take
I know, but I have been quite ragey all week, but I did get my period the other day. So we'll do a little bit of period talk. Because it does come.
It must have been 4 weeks ago since we...
I know, right? But the other day, I get picked on a little bit in my smart car. I get picked on. Did you ever used to get picked on in your smart car?
Probably, but I fucking love my smart car.
Anyway, I bomb around, and every so often I have to hang out my window and shout obscenities at people. Right? So
I bet they don't know what's fucking coming.
Anyway, so this fucking guy, I swear to God, the other day, right, I swear, right? So I'm going on the road, and it was quite busy, like parked cars and that's like around the back of Winton. And I've seen this cyclist coming towards me. He had loads of fucking room. He's on a fucking bike. I'm in a smart car. So he's in room. Like, he starts shaking his head at me. Oh, I had my head out the window. I'm going to go there. Right? And I went, so shake your fucking head, you fuck cunt. Wait, get out of my fucking way. Anyway, he didn't know what to do with himself. Like, it's just this angry lady hanging out the window.
Oh, you want to go on that driver awareness course?
Ooh. Well, I was meant to do one and I couldn't be bothered to go.
Well, they made me create my action plan.
No, I'm not doing it.
They were like, I thought, if only I've got it with me. The action plan was like, what do you want to achieve? How are you going to, what steps are you going to do to achieve it? So I wrote, I want to get a 70 kilogram squat snatch. What steps are you going to do to achieve it? Well, I've just finished a 12-week strength program. Now I'm moving on.
This isn't your driver's awareness cause. That's fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh,
you don't have to put. Well, I checked to see if you had to put your name on it because I thought, it is a pass or fail.
I think we need to talk to Mrs. Blake. Oh, I know I was meant to do one. I just know. I just went no. You got anything else to ask me?
I have got some questions. Yeah.
Go
on. So with regards to the whole original topic that we were talking about.
Which one?
Trans men.
Yeah.
Sorry, fuck's sake.
Trans women.
Trans women.
Yeah.
Competing against cis women.
Yeah, you are never going to call me that.
I know. I just want to. Well, the thing is, I'm fed up of having to say biological women because a woman is a woman.
Right. Just call me a woman. But we have to say that though, biological women. I mean, it's just nuts.
Yeah.
How have we got to this point where we're having this conversation?
Anyway.
We're having to fight our corner.
Yeah.
Anyway,
because, right, I don't want people to think that I'm like transphobic because I'm not.
No.
Like, I really don't care.
No.
But there is an element of fairness, and sport is all about a level playing field. Does this make you feel like people see women's sport as an arena to trial things out?
No, I just think...
Like it's like, oh, well, the women won't mind, so we'll just see how it goes.
Well, I don't think... do you know what I think it is? I think, all right, so I heard in the news the other day that Sebastian Coe was looking at his inclusion policies. I mean, fuck off. People are too afraid, number one, to speak out and just give their opinion because they don't want to upset anybody.
Oh, well, because, and again, going back to that BBC Sounds, apparently women who spoke out initially potentially lost their careers for it.
Yeah, that's right. It's outrageous.
Because, you can't say that.
Yeah, well, bollocks. We are saying it. We are saying it. And I think that too many people at the top of these committees are afraid to say no. No, you need to fight the same fight as everybody else.
And are they afraid to say no because they're worried about the backlash?
Yes. As far as these particular individuals, I don't think that maybe we can blame them for doing it because you know what? The organisations have allowed this to happen.
But if they allowed, so like we were saying earlier, they allowed it to happen because they've been bullied into, or felt or guilted into doing it.
Well, yeah, because nobody wants to talk about it. It's all about inclusion.
Yeah.
So there's this very fine line in discrimination and not including that person because they ultimately identify as being a woman now. But if this is the way it's going to go, female sport will not fucking exist. Yeah.
And why should biological women have to change? Like, why can we not identify as biological women who want to compete with biological women?
Exactly. 100%.
Yeah.
Well, there are women now that are standing up, which is great. There's lots of women that are against it. But I would say there's a couple of trans women that are coming out, and this Caroline Late, anyway, she plays rugby. The former Blues women's player is the first openly transgender athlete in footy. She has condemned the decision to ban man-to-women athletes from the World Cup and encourages other man-to-women athletes to lie and just play anyway. Which, you're kind of just missing the point.
So on Tuesday, I was very much trying to be... I was very much trying to be the voice of reason and maybe a little bit neutral. But since Tuesday...
No!
Since Tuesday, I am agreeing with you more because it's just...
It's fucking ridiculous.
Even to the point of the description of the word. So they... Like, I didn't... Well, I must have been living under a rock because I didn't realise Caitlyn Jenner got Woman of the Year.
Yeah!
I'm not being funny.
Oh, no!
Fuck me. When a man decides then he wants to be a woman, and then he becomes fucking Woman of the Year.
I know! Why is it... But the thing is that...
And you know what?
You know, we've all kind of sat back and gone, oh, well, yeah, because do you know why? as women, we've been suppressed and we've put up with shit for so long, right, that we've gone, well, it's nothing unusual, is it? I mean, fucking hell.
I've got a question here for you. I wrote these down earlier. I don't know. I put, do you think because women historically had to be kind and wield and give way that we are expected to do the same here?
Well, I think what's happening is I don't think we realise how out of control it is in America, because some of the posts that I've been getting on my Facebook about these women are now standing up, and these young girls that are now standing up, because you know what? Their careers and their journey's been taken away from them because men are deciding to step into their arena.
Yeah.
And ruin any chance that they might have had to be an athlete.
Yeah.
So women are going, no, I've had enough. I'm going to start speaking out about it. And this has got nothing of being homophobic or transphobic or anything else like that. It's about fairness.
Yeah.
And it's about the fact that you will never know what it actually means to be a woman.
And then I was reading something from Elliot Page, transitioned from Ellen Page to Elliot Page. Mm. And she recently spoke out saying she's for trans women competing as with biological females, saying there's been such an attack on transgender people. Well, we're not attacking them, but I feel like we're always accepting what they want.
So let's look at the sport and arena. You've got men competing. I don't see any men having a go about women competing with them because a woman has decided they want to be a man. Right? Yeah. Because they will never be good enough to compete in that arena. Right? So they'll never. A guy is never going to go. No, that ain't right, because ultimately, we know predominantly men, especially if they're in their late 20s and their 30s, have gone through puberty. They've developed those, those muscles, the bone density. Just biologically, they're just different. They are different, which means, and this is an example, the woman that competed in the swimming, he was ranked,
500 and something.
554th in the men's league.
Yeah.
When she decided to identify as a woman and start competing, she was 5th.
Yeah.
So, hang on a minute. This is what will happen.
Yeah.
More and more men will come over and start competing in the women's arena. It will get rid of women and female sport. It will just be men.
I mean, I'd like to say that as an athlete or as someone who's competed, you will still have that kind of mindset of, I'm going to do my best. I've trained hard, I'm going to do my best. But there's only so much that you can do that before people start to go, well, what's the point?
I don't want to compete. I want the right.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
As a biological woman, to compete against a biological woman. I don't want to compete against a trans woman. You are not a woman. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You're not.
You have all the benefits of being a man.
Yes.
And until the science proves otherwise and says, oh, actually, after so many years of being on these hormones, there is no physical difference.
Yeah, but they still haven't got ovaries.
Right, but if we're going on about sport, until the science dictates that I am wrong, then I don't believe they should be competing with us.
Makes me really cross. So I did a lot of research on looking at women and how they participate in sports, right? So this is, you can say this is peer. This is not just us having an opinion. This is peer reviewed.
Fancy.
But women's participation in sport over the last 120 years has seen a dramatic change. In 2016, women can, in many cases, now participate in a full range of sport and activities. This has not always been the case. Previously, societies defined sport as a dominantly male arena, and women were met with resistance when they attempted to be included within the sport environments. So all these attributes outline the ideology of masculinity, and the concept of sport and ability for women was not compatible with the traditional subordinate role in patriarchal society. We're still living in that, challenging the myth of female fragility. So I said this to you the other day, that the actual medical profession in the 19th century, before women were competing in sport, said that women were too fragile And once they gave birth, they were left in a morbid state.
Who the hell do they think they are?
A morbid state. So to be feminine in Western culture was all too often presumed to be submissive, weak, and intellectually inferior.
Oh, tell that to Serena Williams. Though. Didn't she come back after pregnancy and did she win Wimbledon or she won back?
Oh, hell yes!
Another popular argument for women's exclusion from sport was potential to damage the reproductive organs. An argument advanced by the medical profession in the 19th century, which reinforced the cultural practices that meant that women were continually marginalised and suppressed from entering sports deemed to be too dangerous for them to participate in. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So once they decided that the Victorians' assumptions that saw women as fragile and unable to participate in anything associated with physical strength meant that women were, for example, excluded from the very first Olympic Games in 1886. Events for women, once they were included, being limited to archery, figure skating and lawn tennis. That's it. It's not until the 50s and 60s, I think I said that to you the other day.
Yeah, I bet you wouldn't see any trans women in figure skating, would you? But the attributes that the judges are looking for in the females will be slightly different to the males.
Yeah, they will. So it says it right. So the research goes on. There was a particular president of the IOC, which so I'm assuming that's the International Olympics Committee, right? Avery Brundage. I think that's how you say his name. He was president of the IOC from 1952 to 1972, and quoted in 1936, "I am fed up to the ears." I'm dribbling. I'm fed up to the ears with women as track and field competitors, as swimmers and divers. Girls are beautiful and adroit. So, he goes on then in 1949. Brundage again expressed disgust at the sight of muscular women participating in the new shot put event that had been included in the Olympic programme, and along with opposition from other women who objected to seeing women in this event, tried to remove the shot put and discus in 1966.
Oh, like I said last time, he's my Instagram troll, isn't he?
Yeah. So this is like following the sport for women through the 60s and 70s was radically transformed as the second wave feminism swept across Western society. Old attitudes were eroded and washed away. But I mean, that's not that long ago. But the 1980s, women inclusion in more sporting activities that challenged the outdated Victorian ideologies that saw women as weak and submissive meant that more women were training longer and harder than they'd ever done before, and they were less inhibited by fears of masculinization and of the whispered references of lesbianism. I mean, I talked about that before. Because of my choices and what I wanted to do in my life and my sport, your sexual orientation is always questioned, because obviously, clearly it's a tick box for you liking women and being a lesbian, you know? But like I said to you, weightlifting, Olympic lifting wasn't included until year 2000.
You were talking about, and then boxing 2012.
2012.
So I told a few people in the gym about that, and I was like, when do you think it was introduced? People thought, 90s.
No!
Yeah.
2012.
2012.
It's outrageous.
That's only 10 years ago.
So what happened? So we've got this big argument at the moment, okay? What happens with transgender women that then want to compete in boxing and then want to compete in wrestling and then want to compete in more of the combative sports? It's not a good... I had to train with men all the time when I was fighting, because there wasn't women strong enough for me at the time to train with. But when I competed in the ring, I don't want to fight men.
No.
I want to fight my peers. I want to fight a woman, a biological woman. Well,
then you could go a little bit more emotive and say to people, okay, so if you agree that a biological man can compete and fight in the combative sports with a biological woman, how would you feel if you saw a man hitting a woman? How would you feel if a man was hitting your daughter, your sister, whatever?
Yeah.
Because that's what it will be.
Yeah,
like there was that, there was that American UFC fighter.
Yeah.
And she said it's like she's never been hit that hard in her life.
No.
And she's like, she was the top.
Yeah.
Of a game.
Yeah. So I think I touch on Caster Semenya.
Oh yeah,
So Caster Semenya, she is a hermaphrodite, right? But the only reason we know that is because the media, when she was 18, just vilified her. And the athletic committee for women, and we won't know about these women over the years, there's a glass ceiling of what women are expected to achieve. Now, I don't know where they get this glass ceiling from, because ultimately you get people that come along and they break through that glass ceiling, because all of the gender qualities have kind of come together into, you know,
well, look at Tia,
being.
Look at Tia Toomey in CrossFit.
Yeah.
She's far exceeding anything any other female's done in the
So if anybody's
sport.
doing, not anybody, if a woman is doing too well, they will pull that woman out. She will have to go through testing, hormone testing, and prove that she's not a man. So, which I find ludicrous, that we're now in a position where we're now allowing men that want to identify as a woman are openly now able to compete with women.
Yeah.
But Caster Semenya, I don't know any other hermaphrodite that's competing in an athletic field, and she was like wiping the floor.
Yeah.
And doing really well.
And she had female genitalia, and she had internal testes, didn't she? That's where she was getting the extra.
Yeah. But why wouldn't you want her to succeed? Why wouldn't you want... I find it quite difficult. You're always going to get somebody that just exceeds what other women can do, you know? So they've pulled it. The only way that she can compete now is if she takes drugs to actually lower her testosterone. Yeah. But
yeah, like you said, there's biological men now. Oh, you know, let's involve them, because we're all.
This is not about inclusion.
Yeah.
Fuck off and get in your own lane.
Well, that's why I liked the fact that FINA are talking. So FINA is the swimming association, are talking about establishing their own category, and I think that's great.
Yeah, that's what should happen. Do you know what it's taken? I read it when I was doing this masters and I was doing my research. I read this masters about women weightlifters, right? So before they could be included and gain permission to enter on a world stage, they had to develop their communities. So they had to compete nationally. And then once they competed nationally, they then had to bring the communities together and start competing internationally. And then once they got that speed up internationally, then they can put that sport forwards, and then they can ask to be included within the Olympic arena, right? But these women were made to line up in front of men to weigh in unclothed.
What?
Yeah.
What, like fully naked?
Yeah, I don't know about fully naked, but they went out of their way to humiliate them because they did not want them to be there within that arena. Yeah, and this is like some guys, and the older generation, a couple of generations up from me. And I remember having a conversation with a guy, and he went, "Yeah, I'll watch the men. I'm not interested in watching the women. Not interested in that at all." I'm like, "Well, why wouldn't you be? I mean, no." He said, "What about your backs? What about your backs? What about my back? You know, yeah. Just ignorant, really ignorant. So women have had to really fight to be included in that arena. And you know something else with the boxing? Oh, you know, they do quite well. Why wouldn't they do quite well?
Yeah.
Given the platform to be able to perform. Somebody else said to me the other day as well, they'd watched the female rugby. The Roses, I don't know. I don't really.
I found it more interesting.
Right? He went, "You know what? They're getting really good." Just like, oh my god.
I tell you what, I find interesting. I find it more exciting to watch because it's
a bit more tactical.
Yeah, a bit more tactical, a bit less like just stop and start. I don't know. There's just something about it, just a bit more interesting to watch. We watched it. I think we was over in Bulgaria and it was on the TV. And even James said, "I think I prefer to watch this than the men." And he's not even he hates watching like rugby and football. But like the women's football doing really well.
Yeah. But if the thing is, the men have had years and years and years of input and skill. Okay, you give the women the same application, right?
Let's see where we are in like 30, 40 years' time.
Yeah. Right, you got
going back up,
questions?
yeah, I got some more.
Go on.
So going back to Elliot Page, she also made a comment that said, if you are not allowing trans kids to play sport, they will die. This is what she said. But I think she means in a way that their spirit will die or they're at risk of suicide and things like that, because someone who's trans, who isn't allowed to feel accepted, might feel even more different. However, why can't we just have cross-gender sport as children? So,
but they do that anyway.
Yeah, I know, but like when you get to like senior school, I'm surely it's becoming more and more accepted with the younger generation. And so if you've got a trans woman, a trans woman, wouldn't it? They would play with the male teenagers. I don't understand what's wrong with that.
No.
If I was strong enough, I'd compete with men.
Yeah.
Because I reckon it'd be really good to be like, fuck you. I'm stronger
I
than
used
you.
to play with boys all the time.
Oh, kinky.
But
not in that way. Jingle, jingle.
Yeah, well, I grew up with there was always boys around my
I
area.
wanted to play with the boys because
around my area when I grew up.
I always played with because it was more competitive for me.
Yeah.
But playing with the girls, it just used to drive me up.
Well,
the
all
wall.
the girls, all the girls around where I grew up just wanted to play with dolls.
Yeah.
Or wanted to play shopkeepers. So I played cricket, tennis, football, rugby with my brother and his friends and my next door neighbours. I mean, I don't know why I've turned out how I have.
Me too.
I went out on my motorbike earlier.
Right.
And I love being out on my motorbike because it sounds really fucking noisy because it's a Harley.
Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah. And then going past people men on mopeds. I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah. Do you rev it a little bit?
All the time. I've got my big boy licence, so fuck off.
But that would definitely be a tick box for a lesbian.
I've got the same bike as Batwoman. Well, actually, mine's better.
Very good.
Yeah, got
but
some
you know, but guys, you know,
although Ruby Rose is a lesbian, but you know, I won't mind looking like Ruby Rose.
Who's Ruby Rose?
Ruby Rose is the one who plays or played Batwoman in the first series. She's hot.
Oh.
She's very attractive.
Go on.
And so that's her looking a little bit alternative.
Oh yeah.
And then
very cool.
Yeah, and then when she just looks.
Oh, she's cool, man.
Yeah, very like feminine.
Yeah, but she's cool.
And alternative, yeah.
Well, she's androgynous, isn't she? But she's very feminine.
Yeah, I think she's hot.
But why? But again, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter what you want to be. These people want to label you and put you in boxes because that's what they think, you know, as it is a tick box for what your, you know, orientation would be.
I don't care what you guys think. All my new lesbian friends accept me.
Yeah.
It annoys me. We both agreed that trans women should not be competing in female sport. I think we're both agreed on that. I think we've given a good argument as to why as well.
Yeah. I would, do you know what? And if there is a trans woman out there who disagrees with us, I would really like to have a discussion with you on you know, I'm not going to shoot you down. I'd love to hear your opinion.
Yeah.
And I'd love to understand why you feel how you feel.
Yeah.
And maybe then for you to understand how we feel.
Yeah. Because if you want to identify as a woman, you need to be sensitive to what it means to be a woman.
Yeah. Well, I've got people who want to meet you. I've got my client Alan. Big shout out to Alan who started listening the other day after I taught him how to use Apple Podcasts.
How old is he?
Oh, I don't know. He's like 60s.
Oh.
No, but he wants. You know, he's all right, Alan. He knows Liam Hogan. Because he goes to me the other day. He's like, "Do you know Liam Hogan?" I'm like, "How the fuck do you know Liam?"
Well, hi, Alan.
And but yeah, he knows Liam from Fitness First, and apparently he used to walk on his hands more than he did on his feet. So yeah, so Alan thinks he'd love to meet you. I even said, so I said, if you want to go meet Janine, you have to go to Liam's gym.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh okay.
might be frightened of me though.
Nah, he's ex-Navy.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, so I'm right up his tree then.
And then Joe, the guy who was one of our first ever listeners, messaged me and said he loved the podcast.
Right.
He thinks you're great.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah.
I am awesome. You just have to go through the layers to get to the soft bit.
Yeah.
There is a soft bit in there, but I will crunch you in the nuts if you don't bring me game first. That is that. So if you're going to chat me up, if anybody's going to ask me out,
I don't think they'll chat you up because they've got people. But do they think you're awesome?
No, I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about men in general.
Oh, okay.
All right, you better bring game. And that's all I'm going to say. So, I've got a couple of requests.
All right.
Tomoko, big up to Tomoko, our Japanese lady friend.
I haven't seen her for years.
She is...
She's still doing night shifts?
Yes, but she is fit and strong. She always messes around in the gym and always tells me she's lifting more than she's actually lifting. She thinks it's very funny. Anyway, she's asked for us to do some information on working night shift, on nutrition and what would be good. And I think that's quite important, actually. I did have a couple of clients that were night shift as nurses, and just people that are on night shift just don't know how to feed themselves properly and what they're going to be deficient in because they're just working against the grain of, what everybody else does.
The circadian rhythm will be all out of whack.
So so that she asked, and she asked specifically for me to mention Tomoko in the podcast. Right, so we've mentioned Tomoko.
Thanks, Tomoko.
Right, and then we need to do the goal setting as well.
Oh yeah, what's his face? That's
Mr.
on
Goimer.
Yeah,
he said it was anonymous, but
it wasn't. It came up on Instagram
from his face.
Yeah. And I was gonna message you back, but I thought, oh no, we will do it. Okay. And then
but we've had other things come up. But if anybody's got anything else, I mean, people do keep coming to us with ideas. But if anybody's got anything else they want to talk about,
menopause.
Ooh, yeah, perimenopause.
I mean, we haven't spoken enough about periods, I don't think.
We're women.
So I think we need to talk a lot more about that.
Yeah, we do.
Dan Boughton.
Perimenopause. Damn it.
I was going to give a shout out to my mate Andy. He's really supportive of us with our podcast. He listens to all the episodes and he's currently isolating with COVID at the minute.
No.
So I did say to him I'll give him a shout out on the next one that we're recording, which is today.
Okay.
Oh, we didn't everything. Oh, so Instagram, leave nothing out.
Yeah.
Follow us. Subscribe to the podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify or Amazon Music.
Nobody's emailing us.
No one is emailing us.
I don't think people email these days.
No.
They don't.
If you want to email, leave nothingout@gmail.com. But
people are looking on the Instagram page.
People have been really active and then liking the stories. And so that's really positive.
Great.
So we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to sponsor us or anyone wants us to advertise their business in the local area, we are happy to advertise.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Leave nothing out.
If you need help, hang up and then dial your operator.
Don't threaten me. You don't scare me.
Fun and excitement.
And when your head is down,
Leave nothing out.